recently I caught up with an old friend and she was telling me that she got divorced, and I was so surprised because her and her husband were such a cute couple and they had been together for 11 years. So I asked her, like, what happened? I figured something bad happened. She's like, honestly, I was just bored. Like, my husband, all he did was work. I was a stay-at-home mom. We had 3 kids and I just got lonely and bored. And she says that when she would bring it up, like, he would take her out, but it was just boring to her. Like, she needed some excitement in her life. She just felt like she was just a mom and a wife, and her husband just wasn't doing that for her. And she had other friends that had, you know, boyfriends, or like they had just got married, and they were always going out, always going on vacation, always partying, like going to the club, going to the bar, hanging out with friends, and they did none of that. And when she would bring it up to her husband would always tell her, like, I gotta work. Like, you know, they had a big house, they had nice things. Like, he was just trying to work. So they ended up getting divorced. And now, you know, she's single, she lives alone, she's working, and she's dating. So then I told her, oh, well, that must be exciting, like dating and stuff. And she's like, no, I fucking hate it. And I was like, why? And she's like, because all they want to do is just have fun. They just want to go to the club. They just want to go to the bar. They just want to hang out, have a good time, and then that's it. She said no one wants to help me out. Like, I'm trying to find someone that's going to help take care of my kids. She's like, I just want someone to be a provider, not just a good time. So I was all like, well, wasn't that what your husband was doing? And she's like, I know. And I guess now her ex-husband is dating someone, like, seriously. They have been divorced for a total of 3 years, and he has been dating this girl for 2 years. She has 2 kids, and they're already living together. She says that he's fully taking care of her. Like, the girl doesn't work, she's a stay-at-home mom. They haven't had any new kids, but they're planning on having kids. And
all right, so hold on. Let's stop the show for a second. First of all, I always like to give credit to the content creators, so that link will be back down in the description, regardless of whether I agree with them or not. Also, make sure you guys tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, Teach Henley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life. Thank you, Teach Henley, for continuing to hold us down. Phenomenal product. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. And we are going to finish this video, but let me just stop that right there. You don't go and take care of another man's kids. How many times do I have to tell y'all that? Now, I know that there's going to be some people in the chat that is upset about that because maybe you're in a situation and you don't know how to get out of it. And I'm not telling you to get out of anything, but because you've already probably committed to something that you're not supposed to do. But you do not go and take care of another man's kids. That is playing another man's save game. I don't want to do another man's save game. I want to do my own game. I want to learn my own game. I want to nurture my own game. I want to finish my own game, all right? So that's number one. Some people will say, well, it's okay because he has kids and then she has kids, and so people that have kids need to get together. I'm not so sure about that. I just still think that gender dynamics and roles still take place. I think that is much different for women than it is for men, and men have advantages and women have advantages in certain things. Me personally, I just personally couldn't give you any advice on how you should go and take care of another man's kids because I wouldn't do so myself. So, with that being said, we do need to get to the rest of this, so let's get to what she's saying.
she's pissed because she's like, how can he move on so fast? Like, you know, I can't even find nobody, and he just found someone so quick, and he didn't even want to give us another try, like, blah, blah, blah. And I was so confused because I was like, okay, so you divorced him because he was always working and you were bored. So now you are single, going out, having a good time, dating, but you don't like that. Now you want someone to take care of you, a provider. And your ex-husband, all he wanted to do was be a provider. That's why now he is dating someone who he has no problem providing for her and her kids. And she's pissed because she's like, why would he go and find someone who has kids? Like, he already has kids. Why would he want to take on that responsibility? And I'm like, wait, aren't you looking for someone to take on that responsibility?
Some men are just simple. Some men are just simple. Real talk. Others of us, myself included, I could be a little bit more complicated. and that I need this, you know what I'm saying? Like some men, honestly, and I can understand why they fall into the trap a lot of times of taking care of another man's kids, is because when they see a woman and that woman is just cool and she ain't having no problems, and maybe she went through a bunch of trauma or she had a bunch of issues and then life kicked her butt, and so now she's with you and she's like, you know what, I'm not messing this up again. I just want to provide a man, I want to chill or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And so the guy like, you know what? She kind of cool. I'm just gonna chill, and all I want to do is be a provider. I just want to be me. I want to go to work. I want to come home. I want to chill. And when you in that space as a guy, I think a lot of times life is simple. You got your work life. You have structure. You move in this way, and so I can understand how guys can fall into that situation. It's not always greener on the other side for y'all.
I was just giving her a hard time, not gonna lie, because it was kind of funny to me, because I was like, I could tell that she regretted her decision. I could tell. And I've seen a lot of people do shit like this where they get divorced for reasons that are not, I'm not gonna say they're not valid, because everybody's feelings are valid, but they're fixable problems. Like, I don't know if you guys have this wrong idea of marriage that is supposed to be like fun and happy all the time. It's not. I feel like every relationship literally depends on compromise. Like, you gotta compromise something. You cannot have everything. And to be honest with you, like, if she was willing to give up on him that quick, like, maybe she just didn't love him that much. Because I cannot even imagine just me being like, oh, I'm bored, I'm gonna divorce my husband, you know? Like, no, you figure it out, you work it out. But I could
Listen, here's what it comes down to. A, the grass is not always greener on the other side. B, sometimes people need to suffer so that they can realize what they had. But C, you don't always get to go back to the thing that you had, because that person is also a person that has feelings. They have things that they need, and they need to move on. You know what you never hear in these conversations? You never hear women look at it from a man's perspective. It's usually a woman that's requiring a man to look at it from her perspective. And so these are all of the things that she wanted, she bored, and all of this. You had the perfect life. You had the life that most people, most women, most men envy, in that you were a stay-at-home mother. You were relaxing, you were chilling, and because you got bored, you let the devil creep into your ear. And this is why I say that women need to be purposeful. They need to be busy. Because the minute that they start letting the devil creep into their ear, they looking at the slideshow of people that are on the internet or their friends profess whatever it is that they're going through. You don't get to see the stuff that they deal with on the flip side, or the crying, or the lonely nights, or the diseases that they get as a result of dating all the time, and them having to go 50-50 and all of that. All you see is the fact that they working every day and doing this. They don't want to work. They tired. They lonely. They busted and disgusted. And whatever state that you are in, you need to make the most of it, embrace it. And again, it's not always greener on the other side, but they will tell you that. They will lead you to believe that. They will give you some kind of indication that, oh my God, your life could be so much different if it was just a whole lot of chaos in it, and you had a bunch of guys that just was leaving you and busting you down and getting out of there, and if you was going to work every day and you would, who wants to do that? What woman is looking to suffer and then trying to find a needle in a haystack? Because men are wising up. Men are getting smarter. They're getting wiser. They're not falling for the same okie doke as they was last year. What woman wants to go out there and try to find a man to take care of her kids? You had the soft life. And now, similar to Eve in the Garden of Eden, now you have to labor for the rest of your life, and you have to suffer through whatever it is that punishment is that God dealt to you. That's just what it is. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, Teach Henley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Peace.